So, today I want to talk a little bit about the curated divorce and how we're changing the way families experience divorce in Florida by offering this service. So, the traditional divorce system, which is adversarial, requires you both to hire lawyers, for you both to be against each other, to go through a long process of disclosures, financial disclosure, to go to an all day marathon mediation session before you can see the judge, and then from there go to litigation and trial. That's the old way that really had kept couples locked in conflict, trauma, and really high lawyer fees, especially if they impassed at that mediation and didn't settle. They would end up spending upwards of $50,000 and higher in litigation fees. An answer to that, which came out, actually, it's been around for a long time, but started gaining some traction, was the collaborative divorce, which came onto the scene in the late 90s and really started gaining traction in the early 2000s, was really seen as the answer to that. And in its purest form, it is a beautiful way to get divorced. I do practice collaborative divorce, and it's one of my favorite ways to be a divorce lawyer. The problem, though, is that collaborative divorce, while it answers a lot of the problems that came with a traditional litigated divorce, it became exorbitantly expensive. Let me explain to you why. A collaborative divorce is really a divorce by committee. The couples sign a participation agreement at the beginning that says that they agree to not go to court to settle their disputes. They will have a team. They each hire a collaboratively trained lawyer. There is a licensed mental health counselor who serves as the facilitator or the person who manages the divorce. They're usually a family counselor or a therapist. And then there is a forensic accountant. And through a series of meetings, of small kind of mini mediation sessions, if you will, we eventually reach an agreement. And if we don't reach an agreement, then the couple has to start over with brand new attorneys and go to court. As an idea, it is a beautiful process. However, as you might expect, with that many professionals involved, it becomes exorbitant. I've even called it almost like a first class ticket to divorce, where, hey, if you've got the money, I would highly recommend going through that, especially if you have high assets and you do have children and it's important for you to minimize the conflict. A collaborative divorce is a beautiful process. But the reality is, for a lot of folks out there, middle income, even upper middle income, it can get very pricey. And I have been, over the last year, really trying to rack my brain as a way to how do we answer that problem? The solution that I have found is the curated divorce. And that's really what I am focusing on now at our law firm. So, what that means is, rather than, again, forcing families into these models, whether it's traditional litigation or a collaborative divorce, is actually building out the divorce team your family needs and can afford. Every single divorce is different. Every couple is different. There are different issues, there's different facts. That's one of the main reasons why being a family law attorney can actually be a really interesting area of the law, because every case is so different. But the reality is, you may have some pretty complex financial issues, but you guys actually get along about the kids. You want to do 50-50, 1 week on, week off. So why are we going to spend thousands of dollars to have that mental health counselor present? Maybe what we do is choose a financial neutral, a forensic accountant to help the two attorneys navigate the financial issues and get a deal. Maybe you don't really have a lot of money that you both just know you're going to keep your own retirements. You're going to sell the house and split the proceeds. But the issue is the kid, because maybe your child has a special needs issue and we need a little help with counseling to get you guys to understand the ways in which the divorce is affecting that child. And maybe only one of you was the primary person in charge of that child's care. But now that you're going to be a 2-household family, the other parent really needs to get up to speed. So we might need that therapist there to help us. Maybe we don't need a forensic or a therapist at all. Maybe we just need to go to mediation. Maybe we just need 2 attorneys to settle it for you. Maybe you already have your divorce pretty much figured out. You just have a couple issues you need mediated. We can do that too. So the idea is curating the team, curating the right professionals, bringing the right professionals into your divorce that are going to speak to the issues in your case, and are going to get you guys a respectful, amicable process that allows you to maintain a civil relationship throughout this process. So that still doesn't mean you have to be best friends. It still doesn't mean it's kumbaya and everybody loves each other at the end of it. But it's a process, it's a container that fits you specifically. And I'm just going to tell you, a judge is never going to take the time to give you something curated. They're going to check boxes, they're going to split things down the middle and move on to the next case. A traditional family law firm that makes all of its money off high litigation fees, they're not going to be there to help tone it down. They're not going to be there to help you try to resolve conflict. They want the conflict, and they're going to try to force your case into the same model that unfortunately actually causes trauma to families. So this is your opportunity to really come to a law firm that's here for you, that wants to hear from you, that wants to create the team that's going to actually serve your family and end up with a parenting plan and a marital settlement agreement that makes sense, that isn't just about the lawyers. And so that's what really a curated divorce is all about. And what I've been able to do over the last several years is really build out the relationships with the top divorce experts in our state and definitely in the Tampa Bay area, where I'm able to hook you up with the right people. That might be a divorce coach. It might be a forensic accountant. It might be a certified divorce financial analyst. You might just need a wealth advisor. It could be the reunification therapist because there's issues with you and your child, or a family therapist. Maybe it's a marriage counselor. I've had couples who have definitely put things on hold and try to reconcile their marriages. We're going to help you do that too, if that's something that is speaking to your heart. So it's really about listening to our clients and coming up with a process that actually serves them and helps you get through the process in one piece and get you on to your next chapter. So a curated divorce shouldn't be something that's reserved only for the wealthy. The principles of working together, of protecting your children and finding creative solutions, that should be available to everyone, not just the wealthy, not just people with high assets. It should be available to everybody, no matter what they make. And so that's what we're really going to do. You may be able to afford a full team, but maybe we just need a couple key players to get involved to get you there at a much lower price point. We're going to do that for you. And so that's really what a curated divorce is all about, is getting you the right team at the right price and getting you done as quickly as possible. It isn't always easy. It does take two people to be fully invested in that process working well. So I can't promise you how long it will take or how expensive it ultimately will be. But when we know what your family needs going into it, that's always going to be guiding us, not just some one-size-fits-all model that we're forcing everybody in the firm through. So reach out to the Diorio Family Law Group. You can talk with me for a free consultation, and I can start talking to you about all the different ways we can get this done for you.